trying to learn the deck a bit here. I have to start, guys. We gotta learn prank kids. Like prank kids are not a joke. Like you guys see that fucking board that I just put up here. That was Toad, Regeki, Dragoon, all protected. Like that's fucked.
Alright guys, challenge accepted. A lot of you guys want that help for combating this deck. This deck is rather new. It's got a new way of doing things, and it can be kind of confusing on how to exactly play against this deck. But let's go ahead and dissect the deck now, shall we? Let's get started. I don't wanna walk away. 'Cause I don't wanna walk away. Yo, what is poppin', YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here. What we are doing here is, as you can see, S-Fish ended up winning Trif's recent tournament and all that. And this was last week. So what we decided to do was, by the way, shout out to my boy Sam for this, by the way, for beating Trif's ass. So there we go. But at the same time, every student always has a teacher, and we gotta show where he gets his tutelage from, yours truly. So what we're showing here is some of the weaknesses the deck has. We decided to play a few matches and all that. So what are some of the weaknesses that the deck does possess? And it's in the deck build itself. So what I mean by this is, ever since Meow Meow came into the picture, the deck drastically changed. Meaning, so you kept all of the prank kids cards in your deck, of course, but since everything is now one card combo, all the rest of the cards, that you were playing instead got replaced with, go second cards, hand traps, board breakers like droplets, Dark Ruler No Mores, kaijus, you name it. So, you would think that is, a good thing, but in exchange, what this also does is it opens up holes in your strategy to where you can't play through certain lines of interaction. What do I mean by this? Well, for starters, if the first prank kid gets just popped in general, then it's difficult to continue because, before you would have all of the fusion spells you would need. You would have, invocations, polymerizations, pandemonium. You would have them all. You'd have all the options needed to do this stuff. So, next match is starting, and we decide I was going to pick paper every time, so we can go first, so we can do some matches and send them to Trif Gaming to showcase the deck and its strengths. But, what these matches are really shown is its weaknesses more than anything else. An Ash to the first prank kid can be very, very crippling if they do not have an additional way to put a prank kid's monster on board. That includes, pranks if they don't have Pandemonium or a fusion spell in their hand. This is kind of one of the downsides of the new builds. They're not playing as many fusion spells because they don't need to see fusion spells like that because they have one card combos. But, again, if their one summon gets ashed, or if, we do what I do here most of the time and just Trident pop your normal summon, then you're kind of just SOL. You're kind of shit out of luck. And you kind of just have to pass turn there. So, it's almost like the deck needs a second normal summon, like a double summon of its own for this reason, because you can slow down the replays as well. I know on YouTube you can slow it down to like 0.75, 0.5 if these replays are too fast for you to keep up. But a lot of these times he's just been passing when I just hit his normal summon with either Trident or the Triplicate Link 4 that I've been putting up. So, if we can maybe adapt the deck a little bit and put in a little bit more, fusion spells for those very same cases, then maybe, the deck can have a little bit more resiliency, to those certain lines of interaction. Because as I've noticed, there's been 3 key cards: Ash to their normal summon, any kind of pop to their normal summon, and a Ghost Ogre or like any kind of effect negation on the Prank Kids Doodle. Stopping the Pandemonium from getting in their hand is actually very, very important. And sometimes, even if they get the Pandemonium, if it gets Ghost Ogre, they can't keep two bodies on field. And they can't use Doodle's effect to add cards back to hand either. So just anything that can just pop cards at any time, anything that can just remove cards at any given point in time, is a big deal to this deck. You know, so not only are certain hand traps to both Doodle and the first Prank Kid a big deal, but just, again, just any normal summon. You've seen it just Dryden just hit those normal summons, man. And it's not even just Zodiacs. Like, you have Divine Punishment. You have, you know, what's it called? You have things like Charles. You have Heretic Spheres for Dragon Lake. You have all kinds of options, you know, to just deal with those first summons. And it really does, you know, kind of get in the way for Prank Kids, you know, pave way. You know, turn zero interruptions are a thing. Like, yeah, they have ways to play, like, through Nibiru, but, like, again, Ash to the normal summon, it hurts because Called by the Grave is at 1. Yeah, Tactic Silence is nice, but as you can see, one of those games, he did Tactic Silence, and he drew 2, and he still passed turn. So, you know, it goes to show that, you know, Tactic Silence doesn't replace Called by the Grave, because there's some decks that would much rather resolve certain cards than to just draw 2 cards, or the Forceful Sentry. Again, I always reference Madolche. You know, you may Tactic Silence after you hit my Penningsessor, but at the end of the day, I still don't access Puddingcess, so I have no combo. Therefore, I pass, I lose. So, you're also seeing some of the strength of Zodiacs as well, not just Prank Kids. So again, we play multiple matches. You know, Zeus is a nice card, but you've only seen me make it, what, twice? You know, most of the time it's just been Tri-Brigade stuff, man. It's been the Link 4, you know, the Trap card. It's been just Drident, some Morgulink, summoning Avion. I choose Avion over the Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds for a couple reasons. One, Avion has a negate for as long as the Morgulink stays on the board. It bounces itself back to hand and negate, and on the end phase it comes right back for another negate. And 2, it interacts with spells and traps, which is what Zodiacs lose to. You know, it's very, very important to make sure that, you know, your deck isn't losing to spells and traps, isn't losing to things like Lightning Storm and evenly matched. You know, and, you know, just annoying things like that. You know, I've been Book of Mooned a couple times. I've been hit with, you know, droplets, but you can't really do too much with that when it comes to, like, Avion, but you know what I mean. Just spells and traps in general are just no bueno for this deck. And as you can see, the Ancient Warrior Link, I've summoned it quite a few times. It's really come in, man. It's really come in handy. So, you know, I am sorry, Sam, I had to keep doing this to you over and over and over again, but, you know, it's good to play matches like these because it does show some of the holes that the deck has, and maybe, you know, then you can actually find the solution to plugging those holes up. Again, one being the normal summon, another being the first effect of the Prank Kids, and then the third being Prank Kids Doodle, whether it being resolving its effect or keeping it on field. You know, for things like Ultra Polymerization. Now, Ultra Polymerization is my tech, and it is really good, but I did find a hole in that tech, and that is just the fact that, you know, because you have to specifically use monsters on field, against decks that can make it very easy to keep you down to one monster, it's very easy to make it a dead card. You know, in my case, I can just Dryden your Doodle, and you only have one Prank Kids there, and you, for some reason, can only Link summon Meow Meow once per turn, which is kinda You know, for that, if it didn't have that clause, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. But, you know, regardless, you know, it is what it is. But as you can see, we're, you know, making some more links again. We still got Ghost Ogre, we got Dryden. You know, end phase, we're going to summon Avion. We're probably going to get Dark Ruler, or no. That's the end of that game. But, yeah. Now we start hitting the singles and things like that. So, you know, how many times have you guys seen Barrage? Comment down below. Have you seen it 3 or 4 times? I don't know how, but, you know, Barrage loves me for some reason. Even in the IRL tourney I played against, Barrage just can't stay away from my hand. So, and I'm not complaining, honestly, but, you know, here we go, you know, showing some grind, you know, Tri-Brigade stuff, you know, it's all good, but anyway, hope you guys have got a nice demonstration of this deck, but I will either do a Prank Kids deck or a Zoo deck next, so, leave comments down. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This is J Money, and I am